Hiya Squishers, and welcome to another Squishmas with me, Kate, under the stairs with a lot of the socks, a lot of squish, some squishy babies, some knits on the whips on the knits, and some stuff I'm going to make. And it is the 12th of December. Oh my gosh, it's going so fast. I cannot believe it. Like, it's only because we're here, end of the stairs, that I know what day it is. And because, let's be fair, it is whizzing by, but I have progress to show and a new whip to talk about. It's new in the sense that it's new in my mind. That's how far we're going to go with it. Right. Look at it. Woohoo! Cold slub with lots of sunsetty colours. I am in love and I'm so pleased that it's going to match. I was looking for my jumper again. I've moved everything around. It's obviously not under the stairs. Like, there's a lot of going-ons under the stairs with the squish. Like, you can't blame me for thinking it's under there because we talked about it the other day. Ugh. So sunset squish. This is going to match perfectly with my jumper, which I will wear with this on top to show you. I love them so much. And because I've been knitting this, I've been having lots of thoughts about the fact that this is not going to take me as long as I thought it was. Do you know when you like to have a long knit? We've talked about this already. Like, I really would like something a bit substantial, something bigger, and maybe something for me. Well, everything is for me. That's just ridiculous. Everything is for me, but something I'm going to wear for Christmas. Do you know, something that by the time I get to my Christmas Squishmas break, I'm wearing it. So on that train of thought, I've decided I'm going to make another jumper, another tube jumper, because tube jumpers are my favourite. I love them so much. They're so comfy, so squishy. You can make them the size you need. You can make the armholes as big as you need. You can make the neck hole as big as you need. And the last time we did it, which was a while ago, because that's how fast time goes. This was before the Catelet. Last time when we did this jumper together, this is not technically a jumper, I think, but this was like, let me show you how you can make a tube into a top. This worked really well and we had so much fun. So I was wondering if I'm going to make a jumper, would you like to make a jumper too? Because obviously it'll be like a day-by-day progress knit with me. And if you have any questions about your jumper, I can actually answer them under the stairs. Oh! So that's where I'm going. I would love to make another one. I'm probably going to say two because the first one will inspire the second one as it goes. And then you can never have too many jumpers. I don't think so. Look, this one here is a tube jumper. It was the first. This was the first one I made because I had an abundance of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, some glittery Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. And I was like, I'm going to put it with some naked yarn and I'm going to knit. And I didn't know what it was going to be. And then I was like, oh my gosh, it's a jumper. So I cut arms for the holes for the arms, you know what I mean? Holes for the arms, and I knit tubes, and here I am. This is a tube knit, and because of the tube knits, let me move these rainbow squishies. I thought I'd show you some of the other tube knit jumpers that you may have already seen, that also I love. There are so many variations you can do, a bit like a tube, or a wrist warmer, or a sock, or anything. Once you've got your basic recipe, you can just go wild. And this one has got this was, I think, the last one I made. And it has my most favourite joining method on the shoulder. Because I wanted it to be like an honest seam. Do you know what I mean? I wanted you to be able to see that I seamed it. So that it was like, yes, that's a visible seam. This was a tube, again, with some arms. And I cannot remember. I'll tell you whether or not I cut it. Let's check. Yeah, that was cut. I cut that one. Boop. So this one was cut with arms stuck on top. But it's so much fun because it's a great way of using, I say using up, because none of us really have things to use up. We just want to use things, we just want to make things and have an excuse. That's true, isn't it? Because sometimes we've got some yarn that we're all having on the shelves that we're just like, I just need the right pattern. And sometimes we're reluctant to make things just for ourselves because sometimes it can feel a bit wasteful. Especially when you can knit whatever you want, whenever you want. You know what I mean? So a jumper for me, going forward, what am I going to make it with? Well, because I have an abundance of options all the time. Especially when I look at these, I get inspired. I'm like, I could go left, I could go right. I've already made one of these. What other colour palette? This one, I absolutely adore the colour palette for it because it just reminds me of a Monet Lily Pond painting. It's got all, and ironically, it was a jumper I made with colours that at the time I was like, I'm never going to wear that green. That green, I'm like, oh, it's too much. And I was like, if I just make it into a thing that's on my body, will I grow to love it? The answer is yes. So this was another, oh, this is a totally different one. This is the one with the tubes going up. This is a different strategy. Oh, I love it how I can remember how I made these. Oh, yes. So, there's probably a few more as well. I know there is. So, I'm going to be making a tube jumper. I have no idea what out of yet. I sometimes want to ponder about doing something, maybe a rain, like, and sometimes I'm rainbow seduced. Like, I think, oh, but then I'm like, is that too rainbow for me? Then I'm like, shall I go for like outside inspired? And I'm like, oh, but have I got lots of outside inspired stuff? So I'm just going to sit with the idea of what it's going to be. It's going to include scrappies. I like the idea that it'll just be completely all the scrappies I can grab and maybe choose a base colour, but also the idea of having all the scrappies all together, all at once. Like in these pieces, this one was like scrap. This was like colour on colour on colour on colour on colour. And I think that's one of the things I love about it. So there you go. I think I've made a decision. I'm going to go colour on colour, 2 strands of sock yarn, tube jumper for me. Oh, yes. And maybe I might change my mind at the end and make it into a cardigan, but I'm allowed to do that. And I do like the idea of doing a nice cozy neck cowl on it as well. See, this is the kind of project that I need to take me up to Squishmas. So, watch this space to see what I work out doing by tomorrow. Because a lot can happen in a day, and I've got a lot of squishy stuff to do before bedtime. But since I've made so much progress on the first, it's underneath the pile, since I've made so much progress on this, I'm just thinking, jumper for me for Christmas. Yes, I'm going to do it. So there you go, squishers. It's Sunday here in the United Kingdom. It's fairly late. I'm under the stairs giving you a little squish before I zip off to do some other bits and bobs because it never ends. Well, it certainly doesn't in this house anyway. And I hope to add a few more rows to this and ponder my next colour choice. And until tomorrow, squishers, have a wonderful time wherever you are. And remember, if you're not knitting, crafting or weaving or doing whatever it is that tickles your fancy, don't worry, it might be tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye!